Good evening. We are here trying to help you with any SAT questions or math questions that you have. So if you are online, um, send your questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go over one or two SAT questions just to kill a little bit of time before someone shows up or while someone shows up. Let me see. Let's see. I'm looking for a test. And okay. I see this question here, question 11. It has to do with the concept of a regression line. The question here is, which of the following equations is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot? Well, if you were to draw a line through those points, an approximate line of best fit here, you see that this line has a negative slope. So just knowing that, I know the answer cannot be this or this, because in both cases, the slope there is positive. And of the two choices that remain, I notice that the y-intercept of that line that I drew is about 9.5, is between 9 and 10. So that leaves me only with this possibility, and I'm done. If you have any questions, let me know. Number 12. Let's take a look at number 12 here. Number 12 is actually asking how many x-intercepts this function has. So every time you see this expression, that means how many x-intercepts. So how many? 1, 2, and 3. Done. Extremely simple. (14) What is one of the solutions to the given equation? Well, I can probably do this using simple algebra, factoring the trinomial. Finding two numbers that when multiplied give me negative 24. And when added give me positive 10. So two numbers that when multiplied give me negative 24, and when added give me positive 10. Okay, so how about 12 times negative 2? 12 times negative 2 is negative 24, and 12 plus negative 2 is 10. So now that I have the factors, I set them equal to 0. And then I solve the simple equation. This gives me z equals negative 12, and this gives me z equals 2. Any of those two answers are correct. So the answer, if you put 2, that's right. If you put -2, that's right, because the question is, what is one of the solutions? Do we have anybody online? Do we have anybody online? No. Let's see. Okay. Let's do one more. Number 16. This is a question about factoring. So if you take a look at the 6 and the 12, I notice that I can factor a 6 out of those two. Then you have the x to the 8th and the x to the 2nd, and you can factor an x to the 2nd. And then finally you have y to the 2nd and y to the 2nd, which means that I can factor a y to the 2nd. Parentheses, there's a plus in the middle there. Then I have to put here an x to the 6th. Why is that? Because when I distribute this back, these two give me the x to the 8th. And then here I put 2, and that's it. So the answer would be this one right here. It's another easy question. Again, is if there's someone online who has a question, you can text it or put something on the. I think the number is online. The number is online where you can text whatever question you have. SAT question, and we can do that. Oh, by the way, let me go back. If I go back to this one, I was going to show you something. Going back to question 14. I'm going to delete everything here that I did. And question 16. So when you take the test, you will have access to this graphing calculator called Desmos. And you can actually input that equation, but Desmos doesn't like Z. So you have to input it with X instead of Z. And when you put that, when you look at the graph, you see the graph meets the x-axis at 2 different points, 2 and -12, which means that 12 came from setting this factor equal to 0 and from setting this factor equal to 0. That's how you got your -12, and that's how you got your 2. So Desmos you can use to corroborate your algebra and sometimes even to do the work for you. Okay? No questions? If there are no questions, I'm going to bed.